What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Social Sig vlog. Today's date is Monday, March 30th of 2026. And wanted to pop on here and give you guys a nice update on all things Social Sig. I hope you guys are enjoying the spring so far. Crab Cake and I just got back from a nice walk. Yeah, just did some spring cleaning this last week. And just trying to get back into the rhythm of things. Been traveling a whole lot. We were just in Japan in February for 15 days, kind of traveling around, and I did 2 shows up there. And then I was just in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest for, I think, 7 days total. We left on Wednesday and got back Wednesday night. And all super successful and good shows and a lot of good momentum going into summer here. So I guess I can just jump right into it and recap some stuff. Probably going to bounce around quite a bit, but also before I start talking about that, just wanted to mention some upcoming shows I got. April 8th, it's not a show, but I'm going to post these this week, but April 8th, I'm doing a creative writing, songwriting workshop at UW Milwaukee. So there's a link in my website on that. And then April 17th, Kenosha. April 18th, Minneapolis. That's pretty much it for April. And then May 17th, we're doing Mayfest at Lakefront Brewery. It's a Sunday matinee show, which will be pretty nice. Hopefully we have some good weather. And then Bayview, we're doing May 23rd at Morgan Park Picnic. And then doing on Memorial Day weekend, May 31st, Lakefront Brewery doing a solo set 2 to 4. And then at Locust Street Fest, I'm also doing a solo set at 5. Yeah, just kind of, and then doing some other stuff this summer that I'll probably announce a lot later, but kind of staying around Milwaukee in the Midwest this spring and summer for the most part. Nothing too crazy with touring. Gonna hit the East Coast in fall again for a bigger tour, but working on some new tunes mainly, and yeah, just kind of staying a little bit more local, which feels kind of nice after traveling so much. But yeah, looking forward to all of those. So I'll be posting those this week probably. But yeah, just to recap, I guess, like I said, me and Sheila were in Japan for 15 days. We went to Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Kinosaki Onsen, which was this small hot spring town. And then we went back to Tokyo for a day and a half before flying back. And truly was the trip of a lifetime. We were just talking about it again. Right when we got back, we already want to go back so badly. Japan is so cool. The culture, the people, the food, all of it was insanely awesome and just eye-opening. This was my second time in Japan, and it's just no place else like it. I don't know. If you have the ability to get out there and check it out, it's definitely worth it. And it's pretty easy to get around. Sheila and I were on our own for the most part, and just with Google Translate and Google Maps, you could really get pretty far. I don't know how they did it 20 years ago without that stuff, because yeah, it was not a lot of English speakers around, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the first show I did was in Tokyo with Anisia, which was this artist from Indonesia, a solo singer, kind of R&B style. And then My Peloti from San Antonio, Texas, which kind of a cool story, a cool friendship that I've gotten kind of grown with this band. We were going to play together in San Antonio last fall when I was doing the West Coast tour. And then they had to drop the show because they just the scheduling conflicts, and then we just were internet friends for the longest time, and then just kind of following them. They seem so cool. I really love their music, some really cool, just indie, feel good indie pop, I guess. Check them out. My Peloti, kind of spelled like my pilot is. So Cheska is the main person in that band, and we've been internet friends, and she saw that I posted that I was playing a show in Tokyo, and she's like, well, I'm going to be in Seoul, I think. She was out there for this J-pop band that she's a really good hardcore fan of. They go by AG. I forget what the acronym is for, but she was out there to see them, and then she was gonna try to see them in Tokyo. And she's like, I could maybe do a solo set if you'd have me on the Tokyo bill. And so I was like, let me ask. And so I asked the venue, and they were super down with it. And then she said that she was trying to get her full band out there, made it happen. And the rest is history. We played the show together, and I learned so much about this subculture fan base of this J-pop band AG, because she brought out, like, she's in this hardcore fan base, like, group club, and she brought out, like, probably 50, 55 people, it felt like, maybe even more, of these hardcore, like, just friends and fans to the Tokyo show. And they're all the coolest, like, like, diehard music fans, and they're just so into, even when I was playing, they just brought such good energy to the night. So that was a lot of fun. It was cool, and we got dinner afterwards and just kind of chatting with everybody, and that was awesome. And then fast forward, I played a show in Osaka. No one there spoke English. It was such I made a video on Instagram, kind of like just about my day of playing a show in Osaka, but kind of a random Wednesday night. And just Google Translate and had to figure out, like, how to use this house guitar, and I used my backing tracks, and it all kind of worked out. And met some pretty cool Japanese folk that night, but didn't like I feel like the conversations didn't go too far, just being with that language barrier, but cool experience regardless. And then that was it for the shows out in Japan. And then then my favorite part of Japan, I'd say, was the most memorable was the Kinosaki Onsen town, the hot springs, and kind of exploring that little city. And just seemed like it's the spot to vacation if you live in Japan. And there's like all these little like hot springs, onsen buildings, like public bathhouses. And it was just such an experience. There's a mountain that you could climb. There's a beach nearby. We rode our bikes. We rented out some bikes one day, and then you could like go onsen hopping and whatnot. And it was really great. Japan overall, 11 out of 10. Definitely would love to go back sooner than later. Also, Addison, it was good to see you if you were watching this. It's always good to see my brother. That was Japan. So came back, and I've been kind of picking up some bartending shifts here and there when I'm home. And then I was kind of gearing up for the run out to Austin for South by Southwest. For the main official showcase that we were on was Jason Burchick's Presents, which was our official show. So that means there's a bunch of stuff going on in Austin during South by Southwest. It's basically a big networking event for film, tech, and music. And there's official stuff going on that's through South by Southwest. And if you're an official artist, you get like an artist badge, which gives you access to like everything that's going on. And it's all kind of like spread out. It's not really like one ground. It's like all around the city. And then there's just a ton of unofficial stuff going on where it's just like people will host their own showcases all over, and it's not like officially affiliated with South by Southwest, but tons of stuff going on, which I booked 6 shows around Austin and then a show in San Antonio. And then on the way down, we did St. Louis. So, and then the main part too was that we're bringing down a new drummer, and I was basically building a newer band to bring down. Kai, my main drummer, he couldn't make the trip happen. So there's this drummer named Owen who he drums with a band called Charlie Boy out of La Crosse, and he's always kind of put out like if I ever need a drummer, like he's super down to like learn the songs and whatnot, and hit him up, and he was available, so brought him down, and then like kind of had to get some rehearsals in. And then it was Owen, and then Matt was on bass. He recently played with us in Pennsylvania, and we'll probably have him more on bass guitar a little bit more. Super chill dude. I really love his playing. And then Travis, who we stayed with, is a buddy of mine who I've done a bunch of shows with. He lives in Austin. He plays guitar, and he was playing lead guitar. We stayed at his place the whole week. And also went down with my buddy Josh, who is based out in Denver, but he's kind of getting his feet wet a little bit more with like booking and managing, and he's helped me book some stuff out in Colorado. Longtime homie of mine, and so he came along. So we had like such a fun squad of us boys, and morale was definitely super high the entire trip. So yeah, did St. Louis with Owen and Matt, drove to St. Louis or Springfield, Missouri after St. Louis show. Stayed at a buddy's house. His name is Jimmy, and that's where we met Josh. Picked up Josh in Springfield, Missouri, drove 10 hours the next day, got to Austin. And later that night, next day, right after that, we had 2 shows in Austin. There was so much going on. We were like, go, go, go. And not a lot of like time to rest. So we're like, chill out. Because we had the 7 shows, I guess, not including the St. Louis, Missouri show. I hope everyone's following along. If I'm kind of rambling as usual, but the first show in Austin was at this bar, and then we had another show later that night at this co-op, and both shows were pretty sweet. Met a lot of cool folk. And then we got back to Travis's. The next day, we had 2 shows. We had one at 1 p.m. at this one bar called Sidebar. That was a pretty cool showcase. Very hot that day. And then we drove down to San Antonio for a show later that night. So 2 days in a row, like right away, we had 2 gigs each day. And then, basically we're gigging around. And then every like kind of during the day, if we didn't have a gig, we were down by the South by Southwest grounds, like exploring, checking stuff out, handing out these little cards that I made that had all of our show dates on them, and like the link tree and just like social media stuff, just to hand out like crazy. So I feel like those were pretty sweet. Good idea to have. One of the crazier things that happened is we were out getting some drinks with some friends I went to high school with, and we were about to go to a spot where there was live music, and they had a $20 cover, so we're like, let's try something else. So we went across the street to this bar called The Revelry in East Austin, and then we were kind of getting drinks, and then there's a dude there that Travis first noticed, but his name is Killer Mike, and he's a rapper in this group called Run the Jewels, and pretty big deal. I don't really know too much about Killer Mike, but later this comedian Joe DeRosa kind of like walked by, and I've been like following him for a while. I think he put out a really popular special, comedy special, and yeah, it was kind of crazy to see him like walk by. I didn't say anything to him, but and then this other like producer comedian named Lemaire was there, if anybody knows who that is. And I said what up to him because we were like standing next to each other. But there's like a DJ doing like this open jam. There's a drum set and a bass player, and Owen got up there on the drums, and we were just on one that night. We had so much fun. Matt was playing bass for a little bit too, and felt like we were bringing the party for a little bit too. It just felt like, where the heck are we right now? And then the night after that, we had another show during the day, and then later we went to see the band from San Antonio, My Pelote. They were also doing a South by Southwest showcase, so I wanted to see them. Caught them at this venue called Shangri-La, and their showcase was hosted by a guy named Money Mark, who produced the Beastie Boys back in the day. I had never heard of him before, but So that was like his showcase, and it was sweet to see my Pelodi perform. And then we were like kind of hanging out a little bit, and like I just saw them in Japan, and now we're in Austin together, so that was really cool. And then all of a sudden, Eric Andre like walks in. I was talking to the drummer of My Pelodi, and all of a sudden this chick out of nowhere like spills her drink in front of us, like in between us, and she's like, Eric Andre is here. And we look and we're like, oh my god. Which, if you don't know who Eric Andre is, that's crazy. He's a ginormous comedian, just like a chaos comedian. So that was wild to see him, and he was playing bass. Apparently he went to Berkeley of music and for like stand-up bass. So he was playing stand-up bass for the last set of the night with Money Mark and a drummer. And so that was really crazy. We had a fun night that night too. So yeah, we're just kind of bouncing around Austin. Lots of memories made. Had a lot of fun with the boys. I'd say pretty successful. And the last gig was Jason Burcheck's Presents, and that was probably our best gig of the entire showcase. And it was on St. Paddy's Day, so it was a lot of fun. And that's South by Southwest, I guess. So once we got back, I drove. Basically got 2 hours of sleep and drove 22 hours to back home to Milwaukee without stopping. But we stopped for gas and stuff, of course. But that was quite a trek. Not sure if I would recommend doing that, but it was good to get back home and kind of reset a little bit. And then had Madison this 2 weekends ago, that like right after, and kind of made the hour and a half drive feel like so easy after driving 22 hours. But had a super fun house show that night, and then and then just kind of been getting back into a routine. So that's I guess that's pretty much it for like show and updates and stuff. And Appleton got canceled this last weekend. Pretty bummed that that happened. There was a Weird Al cover band that was coming to play with. They were headlining the show, and I was gonna open up with a solo set. They had to cancel, so it's being rescheduled, and hopefully gonna play Appleton pretty soon here. I was kind of bummed about that one. There was a social spin group ride, like a bike ride that I put together, and had some people that were gonna come out for that, and it was gonna be fun, but we'll do it again some other time. That's pretty much it. I told you guys about my April shows and May shows coming up. Got some songs I'm really excited about that I've been working on, and gonna be jamming with Kai tomorrow. I'm excited to be outside a lot more and ride my bike and work on some music and hit some beer gardens and play some fun shows. So also gonna have a new shirt by the summer, and maybe some Social Sig hats that I'm working on. Thanks for watching this far if you guys did. I feel like there's a lot of details I didn't hit, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Things are good, things are cooking, and just trying to keep the momentum going in the summer here. Thanks so much for supporting and listening to the music and coming to shows and all that stuff. I feel like I can sound like a broken record with that, but seriously, thank you so much for supporting Social Sig. And been doing this for a long time, and it's been cool to see like the people that still come out and support. So thank you guys so much, and catch you soon. More cool stuff coming. All right, love yous. Crab Cake says goodbye. Goodbye.